Did you know that there is a conservative climate caucus? Sounds like an oxymoron, doesn't it? Our taxes are way too high, government is spending way too much, people are pouring across the southern border. There are real issues that conservatives in Congress should be fighting for us on. What we definitely do not need and should not have is any so called conservative lawmaker giving any quarter to leftist climate dogma. Also, Capital One is planning to acquire Discover, but did you know that both of those big institutions, those big businesses, as well as other major institutions, are on the ESG bandwagon? I'll be covering that on this episode. And the South Carolina Republican presidential primary is today, which means that by the time you're watching this, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley will probably have been trounced in her home state by former President Donald Trump. But she has already said that she plans to remain in the race. All this coming up on today's episode, plus I've got some funny stuff for you at the end of the show as well. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and follow me over on X, the platform previously known as Twitter. And I will go ahead and get started here. Thank you for joining me today if you're watching, and please, remember to hit that thumbs up, the like button, and here we go. Okay, so you should be able to see that now. Okay, so here you go, Conservative Climate Caucus. This is the website here. Yeah, you can get on here if you want to look through all the members. But here is an about section. It says what we believe. And they have down here that they believe reducing emissions is the goal, not reducing energy choices. So it's kind of like we'll take the left-wing climate dogma and we'll be more conservative about it. They want to reduce emissions, but they're not as extreme as the left. It's like, okay, well, but you're still accepting the premise of reducing emissions here. They say the climate is changing and decades of global industrial era has The climate is changing and decades of a global industrial era that has brought prosperity to the world has also contributed to that change. But notice here, they're talking about the free market. They say practical and exportable answers can be found in innovation embraced by the free market. Americans and the rest of the world want access to cheaper, reliable, and cleaner energy. Well, if you really believe in the free market, then why do we even have a conservative climate caucus? Why would Congress be involved in anything to do with this at all? Here is, down here, what we do. Notice that it says, educate House Republicans on climate policies and legislation consistent with conservative values. Well, I mean, wouldn't conservative values dictate that there is no such thing as a conservative climate policy and legislation? Obviously, when it comes to environment, conservatives also would like to have clean air and clean water. And maybe if you live in a city, you don't want smog and stuff like that. But when it comes to the climate, the leftist climate dogma, when it comes to that sort of thing, that's not something you want conservatives supporting. But it's not just that. Look, there's a bipartisan Senate Climate Solutions Caucus. And you look at the members on here, you can see Lindsey Graham and Marco Rubio are on this. And here's a quote. They've got Marco Rubio saying, changes in our climate, such as the rise of sea levels, are measurable facts. I look forward to working with my colleagues to find real and responsible solutions in a bipartisan way. Here, about the bipartisan Senate Climate Solutions Caucus, you can see that it says, we each acknowledge our climate is changing, human activity is contributing, and Congress must play a central role in developing strategies for mitigation and adaptation. So there you go, that idea of Congress, butting in. Here, also it says down here on the bipartisan Senate Climate Solutions Caucus, it says crafting policies that meaningfully reduce emissions while also creating 21st century jobs and ensuring that no American is left behind. So, it's not the government's, even if you... It's not the government's job to be trying to meaningfully reduce emissions. And that's not it either. Here is a Climate Solutions Caucus. This is like a House thing. And you can look at that. It's got a thing here that says that the Climate Solutions Caucus is a group of bipartisan members, blah, 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 who are working together to combat climate change while also protecting the economic prosperity of the United States. And then there's the stuff about members. To me, the most egregious thing is, Republicans who are involved in this, which if you look through the membership, of all three of these, they're Republicans. But the conservative Climate Caucus, I mean, really, you're going to put conservative and then in front of the word Climate Caucus, pushing climate agenda stuff in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, giving any quarter to the leftist climate dogma, that is not conservative. And that is not something that someone who calls himself conservative should be involved in. So let me know what you guys think about all that. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about all that. So moving on to other topics here. Let me see here. What if I got all that? Okay, so yeah, let me talk about this South Carolina primary. So you guys have probably heard the South Carolina Republican presidential primary is today, Saturday. But I mean, it's pretty obvious that Nikki Haley is going to lose to Trump. Just to recap what's been going on in the Republican presidential primary so far, Trump won everything, but he won the Iowa GOP caucus. Nikki Haley came in third. In New Hampshire primary, Trump won, and Nikki Haley came in second. But in that case, DeSantis had already dropped out. So, I mean, Chris Christie had already dropped out. So really, I mean, it was just Trump and Nikki Haley going head to head, basically. And she still lost. But more embarrassing, in Nevada, where she wasn't even running against Trump, she still didn't win. Because what happened was there was the Nevada GOP caucus that Trump was running in, and he won. She wasn't in that. That was where the delegates were at stake. But in the Nevada GOP primary, she was running not against Trump, but still lost to none of these candidates. There was a none of these candidates option that defeated Haley in that primary. And even in the Virgin Islands, which people don't want to talk about much, but in the Virgin Islands, Trump won and Nikki Haley did not win. And then if you look at the delegate count, obviously, when you keep losing and coming in second, you're not going to have as many delegates. She has some, but she's, way behind in the delegate count. And if you look at the polling, it looks pretty obvious that she's going to get creamed in her home state of South Carolina today. Look at all these polls. Trump plus 21, plus 28, plus 22, plus 22. So, yeah, but is she going to drop out? No, she is not. She's already said that she's not dropping out. Let me show you a clip of that.
South Carolina will vote on Saturday, but on Sunday, I'll still be running for president. I'm not going anywhere. I'm campaigning every day until the last person votes because I believe in a better America and a brighter future for our kids. Nothing good.
All right, so yeah, so even though she is poised to, get soundly defeated today, she's not going to drop out. And yep, so let me move on to this. Capital One is going to acquire Discover. If you look at this press release here, it says that Capital One Financial Corporation and Discover Financial Services today announced that they have entered into a definitive agreement under which Capital One will acquire Discover in an all-stock transaction valued at $35.3 billion. We have Elizabeth Warren, who is a liberal Democrat, opposing this. She said the merger of Capital One and Discover threatens our financial stability, reduces competition, and would increase fees and credit costs for American families. This Wall Street deal is dangerous and will harm working people. Regulators must block it immediately. Peter Schiff responded to her and said, "You are the threat to financial stability. Thanks to your reckless spending, Americans are responsible to repay a $34 trillion national debt. Plus, taxes, regulation, and government-created inflation are the main reasons Americans rely so heavily on credit cards to make ends meet." But Republican Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri also wants regulators to block this. In this letter to Assistant Attorney General, U.S. Department of Justice, with the U.S. Department of Justice Antitrust Division, Jonathan Cantor, Hawley wrote, it said, "You, in partnership with other regulators, must take the lead in blocking this merger." So we have both a Republican in Hawley and a Democrat in Warren asking for this to be blocked. But I will point out to you that both of them, Capital One and Discover, are both on the ESG bandwagon. This is an article I wrote at the Blaze earlier this week, but I'm going to show you some stuff here. So this is a Discover Environmental, Social, and Governance report. And down here, you can see our ESG goals and highlights. This is from the Discover report. They actually say that they have as a goal to increase representation at all management levels by 2025. And they say increase women to 50%, increase people of color to 40%, increase Black and Hispanic to 15%. And look, there's a little asterisk where it says POC, people of color, or it's not asterisk, it's a little footnote. And if you go down here to this note, zoom in here, it says POC is defined as people of color. POC comprises all races, ethnicities in the all races / ethnicities in the United States that are not categorized as white / Caucasian. So, I mean, they're just coming out, they're just saying it. Like, we have a quota. We would like to increase non-white people to 40%, basically. So, that's what that says. And then if you go over here, this is also from the Discover report here, ESG thing. It says, where is it here? I wanted to read you. There it is. ESG risks, including climate-related risks, are managed in accordance with our risk management framework, and we continue to enhance processes to embed evolving ESG and climate risk considerations. Here is the Capital One Environmental, Social, and Governance report thing here. And then they have a thing that says, similarly to Discover, in the 3-year period from 2019 to 2022, in the U.S., Asian and Pacific Islander VP plus representation has grown 28%, Black VP plus representation has grown 128.6%, Hispanic VP plus representation has grown 16.7%, and women's VP plus representation has grown 8.5%. While we are excited about the progress made, we are committed to sustaining our efforts to improve representation among senior leaders, both in the U.S. and internationally. And they have, this is also from Capital One, our approach to ESG. We recognize the wide-ranging impact that climate change will have on the world and are focused on embedding climate-related considerations throughout our strategy and risk management. Okay, so that's the two of them. Here's a Visa Environmental, Social, Governance, and Governance report. Visa believes in the importance of helping to protect our planet and natural resources and supporting climate action. We strive to use our product, services, network expertise, brand partnerships to minimize the environmental footprint of our operations, inspire and empower sustainable commerce, and support the global transition to a low-carbon economy. Are you noticing a theme here? Here is the MasterCard Environmental, Social, and Governance report. Climate resilience. The science is clear. The climate is changing and society is facing significant impacts, including more frequent and severe weather, extreme temperatures, and other effects on climate change. Making progress to reduce climate change this decade is critical, as is the ability to prepare for and adapt to these impacts. So, and then you can see, anyway, that's that. And then this is also MasterCard. And look, they have our goals in progress. And it says, grow U.S. Black leadership at the vice president level and above at MasterCard by 50% by 2025 from 2020. So once again, this whole idea of like, you know, if you're running a business, you should just focus on hiring good people, not be so focused on, you know, I mean, if they ended up with 100% Black representation at that whatever level, because those were the best people, so be it. It doesn't, you know, it's like, or whatever. This is not how you should be running a business. You should be running the business based on hiring good people, not on what percentage of people are a certain skin color or a certain gender or whatever. We have American Express has this environmental, social, and governance report. We have here a JP Morgan and Chase & Co. environmental, social, governance report. So yeah, as you can see, a lot of big financial type businesses, and I'm sure that if I start looking for more, there's probably many, many others I could find, but there's a smattering for you, just showing you the depth and breadth of the ESG movement's tentacles being in with these, well, I guess I could put that another way. Instead of saying the tentacles are in these institutions, saying these institutions are promoting the ESG agenda. So, yeah. All right. So just a couple funny things for you before I go here. First of all, this funny meme that says, quick animal facts, hedgehogs don't have to pay taxes. So I said, so if I identified as a hedgehog, would I not have to pay taxes? You know, something to think about during tax season, guys. Just kidding. But, you know, it's silly. So also, did you know that on the IRS website it says the income from illegal activities such as money from dealing illegal drugs must be included in your income on Schedule 1, Form 1040, Line 8Z, or on Schedule C, Form 1040, if from your self-employment activity. So, also, stolen property If you steal property, you must report its fair market value in your income in the year you steal it, unless in the same year you return it to its rightful owner. So guys, don't forget to report your stolen property's fair market value and your illegal income on your taxes. It's kind of crazy. And then just a little advertisement for this show. If you're looking for news and conservative views, then you've come to the right place. See, it's a pun. But yeah, so thank you for watching this episode. Don't forget to follow me on X, the platform previously known as Twitter. Subscribe to this channel on YouTube, hit the like button, and join me next Saturday for another episode. And I will see you guys later. Have a good rest of your weekend. And yeah, you can all stay glued to your television in great suspense to see who wins the South Carolina Republican presidential primary. I think we know what's going to happen. I think by the time you're watching this, it will have probably already happened. But it's going to keep going on because Haley's not going to drop out. So talk to you later. Have a good rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.